Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Punapekaya Tina Gurudev Sakala Sahane Bolo Diya Koro Jamani Sriyadina Sakale Samman Korite Shakati Dehonata Chapajata Kabitoga Ibo Harinama Suke Aparada Habe Hata Obehe no Kripa Laide Jano Vikarta Shakti Bure Amiyati Din Goramore Atma Sata Yogyata Vichare Kichunahi Pai Kumara Karuna Saro Karuna na hoile Kandiya Kandiya Pranana Raki Boaro Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase Punapekaya Tina Gurudev Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Parama Korina Bhavandri Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Parama Karuna Bhavandri Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabhavata Sarashiramani Kevalaya Nandakanda Kajo Kajo Vai Chaitanya Nitai Surya Vishvasa Kori Vishaya Chariya Sirashimadiya Muke Bolo Hari Hari Dekore Bai Tribhuvane Emana Doyala Katha Poshupaki Sure Hashana Vidare Shune Jar Gunagata Chamchare Madhya Rohili Poria Shepare Nahi Lohasha Apana Karama Banjare Shamana Koi Lochana Dasa Paramakaruna Bahungi Jana Nitai Gaurachandra Ujjvala Varana Pura Varadeha Vilasita Niravari Bhava Vyeham Tribhuvana Pavana Krupaya Lesham Kampana Mamicha Shri Sachitandaya Gajarantara Baba Vikaram Dujana Tarjana Nada Vishalam Baba Paya Bhajana Karana Karuna Kampana Mamicha Shishati Tanayam Aranam Dara Dara Charu Kapola Indu Vindita Nakachaya Chida Jalpita Nijagundanama Vinodam Tankaramami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Jalpita Nijagundanama Vinodam Tankaramami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Digalita Nayana Kala Jaladharam Vishana Navarasa Baba Vikaram Gati Ati Mantara Nitya Vilasam Sampranamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Gati Ati Mantara Nitya Chanchala Charana Gati Vichira Manjira Ranjita Padadija Madura Chandranita Shitala Bharadam Sampranamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Chandranita Shitala Bharadam Jitikati Dora Kamandalu Ganda Divyakale Varamundita Mundam Jana Kalmasha Kandana Dandam Tamkamamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Jana Kalmasha Kandana Dandam Tamkamamami Cha Bhushana Bhuraja Lakavalita Kampita Bindara Bhararichiram Malaya Girira Chitta Hudrala Tilakam Tampanamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Malaya Girira Chitta Hudrala Tilakam Tampanamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Nindita Aruna Kamala Dalanayana Ajanulam Gita Shri Vijayugalam Kalevara Kaishora Nartakavesham Tampranamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Kalevara Kaishora Nartakavesham Tampranamami Cha Shri Ujvala Deha Vilasika Niravari Baba Videha Pavana Kupaya Lesham Tampanamami Cha Shri Shachitandayam Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Jai Gaura Hari Bo Gold Premanande Hari Haribo. Now we're going to do Bhagavad-gita chapter 10, text 1 through 21. Astav siddharame kagra manasasi samahita prema gadgadaya vacha tanyasya hridayekshana. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho Shridu me paramam vacha Yakteham priyamanaya Bhakshani hitakamyaya Nane vidus suraganaha Prabhavanna maharshaya Ahamadir hidevanam Maharshinam cha sarvashaha Yomam ajamanadim cha Vete loka maheshwaram Asamuda samartyeshu Sarvapapai pramuchyate Buddhir jnanam asammoha Shama satyam dhamashamaha Sukham dukham bhavo bhavo Bhayam cha bhayameva cha Ahimsa samatha tushtish Tapodanam yasho yashaha Bhavanti bhava bhutanam Matte eva prithagvida Maharshaya saptapurde Chatvaro manavastata Madbhava manasa jatha Yesham loka ima praja Etam vibhutim yogam cha Mama yogeti tatvataha So vikalpena yogena Yujate natra samshayaha Aham sarvasya prabhavo Matak sarvam pravartate Iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samandita Lakshita matkata prana Bodhayanta parasparam Katayanta shamam nityam Tushanti charamanti cha Esham satata yuktanam Vajatam priti purvakam Yajani buddhi yogam tam Yena mam upayanti te Esham evanukam partham Aham ajnana jam tamaha Nashayam yatma bhavasto Jnanadipena vasvata Arjuna uvacha Param brahma param dhamma Pavitram paramam bhavan Purusham shashvatam divyam Adi devam ajam vibhum Ahustam rishayat sarve Devarshir naradastata Asito devalo vyasa Swayam chaiva pravishime Sarvam ekatratam manye Yanmam vadasi keshava Nahite bhagavan vyaktim Vidurdeva nadanava Swayam evatmanatmanam Veta tvam purushottama Bhuta bhavana bhutesha Deva deva jagatpate Bhaktumarhasya sheshena Divya hyatma vibhutaya Yabir vibhuti bir lokan Imam stram vyapya tishtasi Katam vidyam aham yogim Tvam sada parichintayan Keshu keshu chapadeshu Chintyosi bhagavan maya Istharenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana, bhuya kataya triptirhi, shrivato nasti me mritam. Shri Bhagavan uvacha, hantate katagishyami, divya hyatma vabhutaya, pradhanyata kuru shreshta, nastyanto vistarasya me. Ahamatma gurukesha, sarvabhuta shayastitaha, ahamadishya madhyamcha, Bhutanam anta eva cha, adityanam aham vishnur, jyotisham ravir amshuman, marichir marutam asmi, nashatranam aham shashi. Translations 1 through 21, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Lord, Person, Origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janardhan, Again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. I am the Supersoul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of Maruts, I am Marichi, and among the stars, I am the moon. Om Tat Sat. And now, we just have a few minutes for the Bhagavatam class. But, Haribol? Yes. Please. Shamalangi, are you here? Asita Devala Prabhu Ki Jai. Hyphenated? Hyphenated? Is it hyphenated?
Yes, hyphenated. Asita Devala is one person, not two different individuals.
Shamalangi will fix it. But she's not here. She is here. She's right there. Asita Deva is one person. It's a hyphenated word. Okay? Now, the first 21 verses that we just heard, please let's relate at least 5 verses from Prahlad's prayers to any of these verses. Pick a verse from here and then show a relationship with Prahlad's prayers. Go ahead. Maybe scroll back so we can look at the... Yes. Madhuri Saki, go for it.
I just forgot the first line of the verse from Prahlada Maharaja's prayers.
That's good, because when you forget it and then you remember it, it comes back stronger.
But the second line is Adyantayo
Pritagavasyasi madhyatascha. Tom va idam sarasad. What's the second line again?
Adyantayo Pratagavasyasi madhyatasya Shishtva gunavyatikaram nijamaya yedam nan evatir avasitas tadanu pravishta. But I still don't remember the first.
That's okay, just tell us how it's related. And
it's related to the 3rd verse of the 10th chapter, because it talks, Krishna says, he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all his sins. And this verse relates to the verse from Prahlada Maharaja's prayers, because it talks about how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is has no beginning and has no end. And the exact word is adyantayo, which means endless.
It means, he's saying there's no beginning and no end.
There's no beginning and no
end.
end.
The verse number is? 30. And it starts with? Ekastvameva jagade tamamushayatvam adyantayo pritagavasyasi madhyatascha shishtva gunavyatikaram nijamaya yedam nanevateravasitam tadanu pravishtaha. And would you please read the translation? And all the judges will be ready to say if you made a good connection or not.
My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation. For you existed before the creation, you exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external energy through actions and reactions of the 3 modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists, externally and internally, is you alone.
Judges? Who are our judges? Okay, Yash gave you a thumbs up. 20 points. 4 more. Relate 4 more verses. Shamalangi, you go next. Relate a verse from the first 21 verses to a verse in Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. And Yash is next. You could scroll through if you want them to. You can look them over.
I was thinking of this 10.2 again.
10.2, let's see it. 10.2? Oh, 10.2. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So he says that I am the source of the demigods and the sages. I don't know, I just thought this 20th verse, which is that Yasmin yatha yarhiyena cha yasya yasmad yasmai yatha yaduta yastva parah parova bhava karoti vikaroti prithak svabhava sanchoditasta dakhilam bhavatah swarupam.
Do it one more time and everyone chant it along.
Yasmin yato yarhiyena cha yasya yasmad yasmai yatha yaduta yastva parah parova bhava karoti vikaroti prithak svabhava sanjoditasta dakhilam bhavatah swarupam. And the translation is, my dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of the material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but are manifestations of your energy. Indeed, since the energy and energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you.
Now show 10.2 from Gita.
10.2.
And then read that one and then make your case.
So 10.2 says, neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know the origin of my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. So I just related the word source, like he is the source of, Krishna is the source of everything, demigods and sages. And then this word also, it says that all of them are but manifestations of you in this Prahlad prayer. So I just thought they were connected.
Judges? Thumbs up from Yash. Okay, 20 points. Haribol. Yash, go ahead, your turn. Do you have one? Go.
Could we go to, 10.4, 10.5. It says intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and illusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, nonviolence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living entities are created by me alone, the me being Krishna. So all these, there's various positive and maybe negative qualities you can say described here. However, in Prahlada Maharaja's prayers, and all these qualities come from Krishna, in Prahlada Maharaja's prayers, verse 10, which says, Viprad Vishad Gunayutada Ravinda Nabha Pada Ravinda Vimukhat Vapacham Varishtam Manye Tadarpita Mano Bachane Hitartha Pranam Punati Sakulam Nataburi Manaha. So this verse describes how there's various brahmanical qualifications which can be described also as good qualities. But just having these good qualities aren't necessarily sufficient for becoming a devotee of the Lord, even though these qualities come from Krishna. The verse compares how if a brahmana has these qualities, doesn't have any bhakti or attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord, they're considered lower than someone who can be a dog eater, but who actually has dedicated everything, minds, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. So the connection here is that all these nice qualities don't necessarily mean that you're a good devotee. Bhakti and having dedication to the Lord is more important than just having all these brahmanical qualities.
Judges? An insider's view.
I was thinking 10.8
10.8.
Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samanvitaha. So I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So I was relating this to 7.9.22. I haven't memorized that verse fully.
How does it start?
Satvam hi nitya
Sattvam hi nitya
nitya
vijitatma
vijitatma
gunasvadhamna kalo vasikrita vrishijya visarga shakti chakre vishishtamajayeshvara shodashare nishpidyamanam upakarsha vibo prapanam. 22.
My dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents, but you are transcendental to their material qualities. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I am being crushed by the wheel of time and therefore I surrender fully unto you. Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet.
Make your case.
So in Bhagavad-gita, the Lord says that He is the source of all the energies, both material and spiritual. Here the Lord is saying that Prahlada Maharaja is praying that you have created the material world of 16 constituents, and then the wheel and the time element is also under the representation of the Lord.
Judges? What's the verse in the Bhagavad-gita where, in this section where he says, neither the gods or demigods know your origin? What is that? 10. What? 10.2. We already did that one? 2. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. In every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. I was thinking of what? Wait a minute. Just let me finish my thought process. Yoni ativismiti ashitob jam kalena tivra tapasa parishudha bhava swamatma nisha bhuvigandam ivati sukshman bhutendriya shayamaye vitatam dadarsha satvatma yoni ativismita. That it's in that section where Brahma has gone to he dove in the water, he looked for 100 years, apsu nimajamano. And then he wasn't able to discern his origin because when a seed fructifies, then the original seed cannot be seen. So in this, Swatma Yoni Ativismita, he's amazed. He's in wonderment. Satwatma Yoni Ativismita Ashitobjam Kalena Tivra Tapasa Parishuddha Bhava. And then he has to, over time, intense austerity devotional service. Kalina Tivra Tapasa Parishuddha Bhava, until it becomes purified. Swamatma Nisha Bhuvigandam Ivati Sukshman Bhuten Driyasha Yamaye Vitatam Darsha. Then he becomes aware of the Lord's presence within his own body and senses, just like you can be aware of the scent within the earth. And which one were you going to do? Judges? Okay, how are you relating it?
I was mentioning 10:14. It's similar to 10:2. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality.
So you're relating the verse from the Bhagavad-gita to a verse from the Bhagavad-gita.
I was, when you were asking which verse kind of had this thought, and we said we already did 10:2.
Right.
I was thinking maybe 10:14 was what you were going
okay.
for. But I had another one if it's
Go
okay
ahead.
to share. I was relating 7:9-28, where Prahlada says, "My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service?" And connecting that to 10:12, where Arjuna also mentions Narada Muni's instruction and his opinion as Krishna as the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. He says, "You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me." So both Arjuna and Prahlad were citing Narada Muni as the authority in seeing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Judges? Chant the verse. Go back to the Prahlad verse. Evam janam nipatitam. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kama bikama manaya prapatam prasangat kritvatma satshvarashina bhagavan grihita soham katam divisride tava britya sevam. Shri Prahlada Maharaja ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai. And last point from Anapayani Bhakti.
Hare Krishna, the Bhagavad-gita verse I was thinking of is 10:10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. And in this verse, Krishna describes that for those who serve him with love and devotion, he will allow them to come to him. And then the Prahlada Maharaja verse I was thinking of is the 42nd verse. Gonvatrate kila guru bhagavan prayasa uttaranesya bhavasambhavalopaheto mudeshu vai mahadanugraha artabandho kim tena te priyajana nanusevatamna. And in this, Prahlada Maharaja said, what is the difficulty for the Supreme Personality?
42.
What is this difficulty for the Supreme Lord to deliver us? He is the friend of all suffering living entities. So therefore, he should show his causeless mercy to those who engage in his service and deliver him. And I feel like that verse in the Gita kind of answers this question that Prahlada Maharaja is asking. To those who are constantly serving with devotion and remembrance, he will allow them to come to him.
Judges? Let's chant it together. It's a great verse. Konyatra te kilaguro bhagavam prayasa uttaranesya bhavasam bhavalopeheto mudeshu vai mahadanugraha artha bandho kim tena te priyajanan anusevatamna. Srila Prabhupada, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev, if you so desire, please let us take a dip in the ocean of the transcendental verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for considering our request. Let us always swim in the ocean of the verses Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part, please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kripa Sindhave Vachapatitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Nantakoti Vaishnavini ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam class ki. Konyatra te kilagoro bhagavam prayasa taranesya bhavasam bhavalopaheto. How's it Priya? What?
Or is it already? Did I miss Guru Puja?
No, we're doing it now.
Oh.
Do we have the kids thing too?
Yes, at 9:30.
Guru Puja. Thank you. We're not doing class yet. We're going to do Guru Puja. We had to call an audible at the line of scrimmage. Inconvenience is regretted. Namashreshtam, please. Can you hear me? Raise your hand. If you can hear me, say shh. We're ready. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keba Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keba. Namasheshtam Manamapi Shachiputramatra Sarupam Nirupam Tasyagrajam Parimatrim Gushavati Radha Kundam Girivaramoho Radhika Madhavasham Tapto Yasya Pratita Kipaya Shri Guru Kamudosmi Hey Guru Gyanadadina Bando Swananda Data Kuranaika Sindo Vrindavana Sinahita Avatar Rasila Radha Pranaya Prashara Hey Dina Bando Kuranaika Sindo Kuru Prasadam Mayi Mandamude Laksha Parade Bahupapagade Tatpada Padme Sumatishta Krishne Daivo Payantya Patitim Kavayasta Ramayushapi Kridam Ridamudasmaranta Yontar Bahistanubratam Vashubam Vadunvan Acharya Chaitya Vahusha Swagatim Yanakti. Without serving the representative of Krishna, nobody can approach Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master. By whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachi Mata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami and his older brother, the Sanatana Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radhakunda in Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the only giver of this, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore grace me with your mercy, so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Shri Krishna. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could never fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with a prolonged lifetime of Brahman. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing you not to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. Bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prayer emanates. By him weakness is destroyed. The Veda Sutras sing his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor and Lord and Master of his lotus. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevalabha Bando Muli Savadana Jahara Prasare Bhai Bhavato Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Shitete Koriya Oja Padma Bhakya Sitete Koriya Oija Charane Rati Yeshe Utama Bhakti Je Prasare Pure Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Mate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasarine Nirvishesha Shunyabari Paschacharitatarine Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Gadadha Shiva Sadi Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajikacharya Stotaris Shishimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajikacharya Stotaris Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Sambeta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. We'll sing a song from the spiritual world. Is this the secret to success in life? Is to carry a song from the spiritual world in your heart. Then you just go straight back into the spiritual environment. And this song is special in many ways. One is written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it's about his own deities. It's important to become attached to deities because when we're aware of the beautiful forms of the Lord, it's like the other day, Nirkula on her birthday dressed our deities, and she found some flowers in our greenhouse. I think that's where you got them from. The Stephanotis. We have a Stephanotis plant. Stephanotis. So she put Stephanodi on the deities, and there was, each one had a flower, and the deities looked so charming. We were taken aback because in our temple room, such that it is, anybody who's been to our house, it's in a thoroughfare. It's a small house, so from walking one room to another, you have to go through the deity room, and I was just taken aback each time I walked through how beautiful they looked. And I was thinking, what would I do without having the deities to think of? There's so many other ways the mind might be engaged and pulled in one direction or another, right? And what verse would you quote from that? From Prahlada Maharaja. Jivai kato chita mikarshati mavrititashnonya shavanam katayam granyonya tash chapaladir kwa chakarma shaktir bhavyasapatna ihave geha patim lunanti. He talks about the ways in which his senses are being pulled in every direction. Unless there's a way to focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we get yanked every which way. And the verse we're going to have today, which you don't have to put up, but I'm just referring to it because it's so important. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. This is Krishna in his most intimate setting of Vrindavan. And he has beautiful forms there where he wears flowers in his hair. He walks barefoot in the forest, plays a flute. He hangs out with his friends. There's nothing more sweet than seeing Krishna hanging out with his friends. In fact, in Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, when you go there, you'll see that Krishna and Balaram are just hanging out. And you go hang out with them. Everyone wants to hang out somewhere. But if you hang out with Krishna, then you're cool. If you hang out with the material energy, then you just become a fool. And so having the song Jaya Radha Madhava, just to know that Krishna has these names that refer to these beautiful forms in the spiritual world. Kunja Bihari. It's a secret name, actually. Only insiders are supposed to know what Kunja Bihari means. Kunja means these little places in the forest where Krishna meets with his lovers. And a Gopi Jana Ballabha. The gopis, as we know from Vaishnava philosophy, the highest of all devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan, the Vrajavadu. The women of Vrindavan are known to have the highest quality of devotion. And so Gopi Jana means the groups of devotees there in Vrindavan. And Giravaradari, anybody who's been to Govardhan Hill, you just want to go back. And all you have to do is walk around Govardhan Hill a few times, and then you'll have this feeling that all I want to do is just walk around Govardhan Hill. Forget everything else. And Giriraj is so sweet that just watching people walk around Govardhan Hill is satisfying. Even if you can't walk, if you just sit and watch people walk around Govardhan Hill and how happy they are, then you become blissful too. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. So there's a way that the Jamuna River is there. It evokes this sense of longing for Krishna, just as we know. Sachinda Krishna, welcome back. I've been thinking about you. Thanks for coming back. So it evokes this feeling like the gopis had when they went to Kurukshetra during the eclipse of the sun, and there's a way in which they were in Kurukshetra, but they were pining for Vrindavan. And they were thinking, no, but Krishna, not here. We don't like all these soldiers, and we don't like the way you're dressed here. And the mood here is all wrong. We want to go back to Vrindavan, and we want the Jamuna, we want Govardhan Hill, and so forth. That's Vrindavan, and that's the mood that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us. Correct? Prove it. Give a verse. Okay, go ahead. I'm thinking, do your verse from the Chaitanya Manjusha. We need a plethora of microphones, please. Preferably ones that work.
I was thinking of Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Va Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Yes, no, I'm mixing another. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradharana Para. This verse quotes about how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the highest philosophy, which is doing devotional service, following in the footsteps of the Vrajavasis. That's what I was thinking about.
Ramya Kachirapasana, Raja Vidu. Raja Vidu means the women of Vrindavan. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll sing the song, and then we'll do a short Srimad Bhagavatam class today because we have some other pressing matters to discuss. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janara Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. We're reading this morning from the Srimad Bhagavatam from Prahlada Maharaja's prayers from 7th Canto, 9th chapter. And the verse today will be on the board in 7 seconds or less, or your money back from today's class. 5, 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2. Naitam manastava katasu vikuntanata. No, just repeat. Sampriyate durita tushtama sadhu tivram. Nobody in the booth. Kamaturam harsha shoka vayaishanartam. No, wait. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing it right. You're freaking me out here. Kamaturam harsha shoka vayaishanartam. Tasmin katam tavagatim vimrishami tina. Two more chanters. Go. Naitan madastava katasu vikuntanata.
Sampriyate durita dushtama sadhu tivram. Kamaturam harsha shoka bhayai sanartam. Tasmin katam tava gatim vimashami dina.
Una más, por favor. Muy chido, or egg.
Naitan manastava kathasu vikuntanatva.
Naitan manastava kathasu vikuntanatha.
Sampriyate durita dushtama sadhu tivram.
Sampriyate durita dushtama sadhu tivram.
Kamaturam harsha shoka bhayashanartham.
Kamaturam harsha shoka bhayashanartham.
Tasmin katam tava gatim vimashami dina.
Tasmin katam tavakatim vimashami dina. My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and lusty, being sometimes so-called happy and sometimes so-called distressed. My mind is full of lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. Thus it has become most polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you, and therefore most fallen and poor. In such a status of life, how shall I be able to discuss your activities? And while we're waiting for the purport, it's mentioned this verse is quoted by Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbhas as an important recognition. At a certain stage of devotional service, we may know the medicinal effect of hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam, but our mind may have no attraction for hearing about it. So he's asking this question, Tasmin katam tabakatim vimarshami dina. How will I overcome this status of life? And Prabhupada gives the following comments. Here Prahlada Maharaja represents himself as a common man. Although he actually has nothing to do with this material world, Prahlada is always situated in the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual world. But on behalf of the fallen souls, he asks how, when his mind is always disturbed by material things, he can discuss the transcendental position of the Lord. The mind becomes sinful because we are always engaged in sinful activities. Anything not connected with Krishna consciousness should be understood to be sinful. Indeed, Krishna demands in Bhagavad-gita 1866, Sarvadharman pratyaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. As soon as one surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Krishna immediately relieves one of the reactions of sinful activities. Therefore, one who is not surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord should be understood to be sinful, foolish, degraded among men, and bereft of all real knowledge because of atheistic propensities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad-gita 7:15. Namam duskritinumuda prapadyante naradama maya apritagyana asuram bhavam ashuta. Therefore, especially in this age of Kali, the mind must be cleansed, and this is possible only by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. In this age, the process of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is the only method by which to cleanse the sinful mind. When the mind is completely cleansed of all sinful reactions, one can then understand his duty in the human form of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to educate sinful men so that they may become pious simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata, to cleanse the heart so that one may become sober and wise in this age of Kali. There is no value to any method other than the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Prahlada Maharaja has confirmed this process in previous verses. Twadvirya Gayana Mahamritam Magnachita. Context? Say the verse. Naivod Vijay Para Duratya Yavaitaranyas Tadviryagaya namaha mrita magna chitta shocheta to vimukacheta sa indriyarta maya sukaya bharam udvahato vimudham. Prahlada Maharaj further confirms that if one's mind is always absorbed in thought of Krishna, that very qualification will purify one and keep one purified always. To understand the Lord and His activities, one must free his mind from all contamination of the material world. Okay, let me see if I'm speaking English. To understand the Lord and His activities, one must free his mind from all contamination of the material world, and this one can achieve by simply chanting the Lord's holy name. Thus, one becomes free of all material bondage. I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, all the previous acharyas, and to all of you present here today. Vansha kalpatarubhascha kripasinabheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Naitan manas tapakatasu vikuntana sampriyate durita dushtam sadhutivram. So this is a lament that Prahlada is making, in that he's saying that his mind is not attracted. And it's a beautiful name, isn't it? Vikuntanatha, the Lord of Vaikuntha. And topics, katasu, about Vaikuntha. There's topics of the material world, and there's topics of the spiritual world, and Krishna there. It's one of the reasons that Krishna comes to the world to make his appearance. Sarve hyami vidikaras tavasatvanam Brahmadayo vayamivesha nachodvidan shemaya bhutaya utatma sukhaya jasya vikriditam bhagavato ruchiravatarai. Prahlada says that the Lord comes for the benefit of everyone, to reveal His beautiful form so that we can see it. And He comes in different forms. Itam nritirya deva jashavatara loka. Lokan pipavayasi hamsi jagat pratipan. Dharman mahapurusha pasa yugana vritam channa kalo yada babastri yugota satom. He says, Itam nritiryag, he comes as a human. Nri, animal. Tiryag, he comes as tortoise, fish. And he also comes chana kalau. In the Kali Yuga, he comes in a covered form, just to not disturb anybody's mind, but he appears as a devotee to teach the process so that we can go back home, back to Godhead. And ter hatama namastuti karma puja karmas pratish charanayo shravanam katayam samsevaya tvaivineti. What? Shat angaya kim bhaktim jana paramahamsa katao lubeta. Prahlada concludes his prayers by saying there's these simple processes that one can engage in to remember Krishna in the spiritual world. So that's the purpose of our ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It is to purify our minds and hearts and come to the spiritual platform. And we have a good start here because we've adopted a process that follows in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. That's important, as Prahlada mentions, that he wants to follow in the footsteps of Brahma and his sampradaya. Give me that verse. He's Ramadayo. No, it's what? In any case, he's saying, I'm just going to follow in the footsteps of Brahma and those in his sampradaya, and therefore I'll be successful. You can give it to me when you find it. I'll thank you later. And so that's what we're doing here. And in the process, we have to be essence seekers. Remember that the main purpose of us coming together is for self-purification. In any process, in any discipline, there's a way in which one may practice for some time and then adopt various mentalities that could divert one's mind again. And those might include feeling entitled, that I've been here for 3 days longer than somebody else, therefore I should have a better seat or a better room. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur abhorred that mentality so much so that when the devotees in his organization had been given a gift of a beautiful new temple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta noticed that his senior devotees were quibbling over who got which room. That disturbed him so much, it was so antithetical to the purpose of the organization, that he indicated that he might not stay much longer in the world based on that sort of mentality. And he said that we were better off in Ultadanga Junction Road, which at the time was a very slovenly dwelling and simple. They, according to the lore of that time, barely had enough money for rice, which is hard to understand since they lived in Bengal. But because they had the right mood, they didn't feel entitled, they felt preaching is the essence. Then they felt happy, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was happy. Along with success, along with developing some acumen for devotional service, or the trappings thereof in an organization, we may also develop a sense of pride or a sense of entitlement. And then we lose our purpose, we lose our way, which is that we should feel some lamentation in our heart that I've not achieved this deep attachment to Krishna. And there are ways in which we can be vigilant in our prosecution of Krishna consciousness together. One is to be communicative in proper ways. There's ways in which when we have problems in our life or we have concerns about anything, we should find somebody that we can talk to and work them out so that we feel settled and we have an understanding. It doesn't matter where you go in the world or what organization you go to, when there's people involved and there's generations involved and there's various cultures involved, there's going to be a sense of conflict amongst cultures. Even today, reading the purport, we see the masculine pronoun being used again and again. Someone brought that up to me in New York when I was giving class. I didn't really answer it. But even when I was going to school, university that is, here in the Bay Area in 1994, that it was just a prevalent discussion about pronouns. Now, of course, it's become taken almost to the absurd, that people make jokes about it. My point is, when you transfer from one era to the next, there's a way that the various ways of thinking, being, speaking, and writing, and so forth, they're carried forward. And if you try to compare one era to another, then you may miss the point, the essence of what's happening. At the same time, it's important, as Prabhupada mentions in the first canto, 4th chapter, 1st verse in the paragraph, that when we're presenting Krishna consciousness, we should not screw out any new meaning. We should take what the acharyas have given. However, we should present it in a way that's relevant and appreciable to the modern audience that we're speaking to. That's the purpose of the disciplic succession. We don't have disciplic succession by Veda base, although there are modern methods of pulling up all kinds of information. One may then misinterpret it. One has to have a holistic and comprehensive approach to Krishna consciousness, including taking the mood of what is the mood of the acharyas that's being passed down, the mood of the most recent acharya as carried forth by those who were there and who can explain what the exact mood and intentions were. And that has to be harmonized in one generation after the next because things change. And that has to be accommodated. That's how the disciplic succession goes on. It's no small miracle that we're all able to be here together. And it's also incumbent on us, in order to stay vibrant, that we remember the essence of Krishna consciousness. We're not our bodies. We have nothing to do with the material world. The external trappings are the external trappings. That's how Krishna starts off the Bhagavad-gita. We're all spiritual souls. And his highest teachings are to engage us in seeing all living beings, vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihastani shuni chaiva shupakecha padita samadarshina, as equal. Because although there are various manifestations according to the modes of material nature to accommodate the perverted desire of individual souls, those are simply external temporary manifestations. And a learned person, Krishna says, sees beyond those external trappings and relates to the soul. There are ways in which we also recognize the importance of social intercourse at a particular time, place, and circumstance. For instance, although we see a tiger as a soul, I mean, who wouldn't see a tiger as a soul? You just look in his eyes and go, yeah, I know, you're a little jiva. But you still wouldn't want to tempt fate and go up and put your hand out for him, because he might think it was a snack. And that's not his fault. That's the modes of material nature. So there's this dual process going on in the culture, which is more complicated than most people care to look at. The founding fathers of America said everyone's created equal. And they have the spiritual ideal there. But then there's a way in which, well, just ask Sukeshri. When she has classes, she said the most important or useful way of having a classroom is to administer to the students according to their level of appreciation of the material. She has proof of that. So there are ways that we're simultaneously balancing one side of the world with another. And it does take communication, it does take balance, and it does take understanding. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Although there is a one-size-fits-all, we're all spiritual. There's also the commingling of the matter and the spirit, so that makes it exponentially harder. And can it be done? Absolutely. There are ways to do that. We simply have to, first of all, be fixed on ourselves and purifying our own selves and minds, pursuant to Prahlada Maharaja's prayers in the verse. And as a local organization representing Krishna consciousness, details matter, and the ways in which we interact with one another matter. We're not a corporation, per se, that we're just worried about the bottom line. We are worried about our own purification. We don't have to think always just what are the numbers. It's people matter. Individual devotees matter. And in that way we should observe, or I should say may. Oops, I just said should again. I don't like saying that word so much. There are ways in which communities may miraculously thrive, even as we're dealing with various dimensions in which we have to understand and balance how to live in the world and survive and interact with one another in ways that are helpful and progressive, and at the same time see all living beings as spiritual souls and also act as a spirit soul. It's a balancing act. And in a testing ground like ISKCON of Silicon Valley, our purpose is to create an environment in which everyone's invited to do service. And what's most important about our organization is not the bottom line, but it is that we develop a service attitude. And that includes being patient and communicative with all of the members of the organization, not overlooking the individuals. Isn't it when we go on Sankirtan and we happen to go to some far-flung place like Cupertino and we knock on some door where we know nobody's ever going to go there except us. We just, Super Soul tells us, if you didn't walk up here, nobody else was ever going to do it. Have you ever been to a place like that? I've been to places like that. Not in Cupertino, but other places, like in Southern California. There was a Vietnamese mall. I like the Vietnamese people. They're most upwardly mobile people. Actually, they're highly spiritually oriented and so forth. So I like to go get their association whenever I can. We went to a Vietnamese mall. It was 3 levels. And the top level was mostly closed. No shops were open, but we went up. I went up there anyway because I saw one shop open on the far end. They really didn't need footfall. They just needed an office. And they're on their phone, and they were very surprised when we came in. And slightly resistant, but I think they figured that we came all the way up there, and we bothered to come in their place of business, and we seemed civil and good-hearted, so they humored us and took a few books and reciprocated with the donation upon our request. But when I left there, I thought, unless we hoofed it up those stairs and walked all the way to the end with a sense of adventure, nobody would have ever gone up there. And I felt satisfied. So we have great opportunity to reach out to people in various places and give them an opportunity to take to Krishna consciousness. And while we're together, our focus is best on how to hear and chant and purify ourselves, and also how to serve cooperatively, and also how to be very, very careful in the way that we deal with one another. This is the true sign of an advanced Krishna conscious organization, is how careful we are in our dealings with others. As an example, we should hear an alarm going off in our heads if we begin talking about people behind their back. If we notice it, we can stop we have permission to stop the conversation and say, wait, let's not talk about the other person until he or she is here. And then we'll discuss. It's okay if you're praising them. But if there's this sense of, I'd like to air all my grievances right now about such and such or so and so, and I feel free, there's no breaks because they're not here. That should be, we should have a sense of fear in that, because that will result in naitam manas tavakatasa vikunta nata sampriyate durita dushnam asadu divram. We'll lose our taste for hearing and chanting. And we will get a taste, but it's a kind of taste that ruins you for spiritual life. It's very subtle, but if you become critical of devotees, then it becomes a source of woe and weal. You know what that is? Look up weal and woe. So there are ways in which, as we move forward, we can come back to the basics, and that is, it's important to hear and chant together. It's also important to develop relationships with the devotees and work out any kind of concerns that we have in proper ways so that we can overcome any of the perceived differences. I always appreciated Prabhupada acknowledged the fact that there will be differences of opinion in various ways. It was helpful that he acknowledged it. There are ways in which one can say there's only one way to think, and there's only one way to do things, and make an ultimatum, say if you're not in harmony with that, then you might as well take a long walk off a short pier. But in any relationship, one-to-one or in a group, it's highly effective if we adopt the spiritual principles and say, what are the workarounds in our relationships? And then also be mature and come and discuss with those that we may need to. Now, there may be cases that there needs to be due process. That's also important in an organization, that somebody also has to look and see that how are there managerially alternative arrangements to be made in an organization so that we can overcome any of the snags that we run into. Somebody has to be looking and overseeing and brainstorming, say, how would Prabhupada deal with this? What are the spiritual ways that we can reorganize, reshuffle, and such? And that has to take place on a regular basis, and sometimes it comes to a point where people feel tension, and then that has to be dealt with. But it's not a cause for us to become overly concerned, because there is a spiritual solution to everything, and we have to be patient and work on it, just like, as I said a moment ago, in a personal one-to-one relationship, taking time to discuss deeply what are concerns and then processing them, then we can become highly effective. Now you have 1 minute to ask any questions. Yes?
So Maharaj, if you could elaborate a little bit more on not talking about people behind their backs, because sometimes when you're managing something, then you might want to do Goyam Akhyati Prichiti, and so what are some of the things that we should keep in mind when we are doing that?
When there's a sense of unrestricted criticism that doesn't serve a particular purpose, and it's not couched carefully in language that is respectful, then it becomes inflammatory and it can become dangerous. But when there is a need to discuss a particular person, it should be done respectfully. And also, we should never assume that we know everything about a particular person or a situation. We should think that there's two sides to every chapati that was ever made, and therefore it's helpful to get both sides before we make decisions. I've been embarrassed before in situations where I assumed that I knew everything, and then when I found out the other side, I thought, oops. And therefore, it's more helpful to be reserved, and that's a word that we can use is be reserved and be respectful and careful if we have to bring up points about somebody. And don't take the etiquette out of it. Leave that part in. It's protective guardrails for us. And we should find within our hearts, we should be self-searching and see, why am I saying this? Is it for a purpose, and am I doing it in a way that there's a solution? And we know this in relationships, individual relationships. If you know somebody well enough, you're in a relationship and you become emotional and you say something to them, you intuit as you're saying it that I'm doing something that's going to inflame the situation rather than improve it, don't you? Please say yes. And it's similar when we're dealing with lots of people. We should be respectful and careful and helpful and try to balance it with a sense of giving the person the benefit of the doubt. Just as Gopal Bhatta Goswami, you can remember him. He just signed a little sheet that said, I won't criticize any devotees. You can do that. We have a little sheet, you can sign it. And then you're not obligated to criticize any devotees. And if someone says, let's have a session, and you say, sorry, I already signed the sheet. It's the Gopal Bhatta Goswami sheet. No, it was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami sheet. He said, that's all right, chants Hare Krishna. That's a very high up position. Then when you get into a situation where you're managing, you can keep that in your heart and then discuss it with that protective covering about a person who happens to be in our midst, who's chanting Hare Krishna, who's done tons of service, who we love very much, but temporarily we just have going in a different direction. And I've found again and again, I've never had it fail, that the idea of workarounds bring turnarounds. If you really note that one of the tendencies of the emotional mind and heart is to make an ultimatum and say, if it's not this way, then it can't be any way. It limits our ability to grow as an organization, as in any relationship. So I'm just saying all this because I think we're at a pivotal point here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. This place is pregnant in many ways. But we're poised for growth, spiritual growth, which is very much wanted, but it's wanted in the right way. It doesn't have to be, there's lots of cells that grow too fast and they're not wanted. We grow naturally, and we grow with the mantra that how we do is more important than what we do. It's not just about the numbers, it's not about the bricks and mortar. How many bricks and mortar can you pile up? All of those things come in due course of time as we learn. The most important aspect is how we deal with one another, how we deal with ourselves, and how we are organized to show compassion to the general public. Prahlada Maharaja is not saying these things like Naivo Dvijay Para Daratyadya Vaitaranya. And Prayena Deva Muniya Swavimukti Kama Maunam Charanti Vijane Para. Did I say it wrong? Maunam Charanti Vijane Naparartha Nishta Naitan Vihaya Kripanan Vivamuksha Ego Nanyam Twadasya Sharanam Brahmato Nupashe. Right? Mauna Vrata Shutatapo Dhyayana Sudharma Vakya Raho Japa Samayada Apavargya. Next line. Praya Param Purusha Te Twajitendriyanam. Best line in the whole thing is coming up, right? Varta Bhavantyunana Vatra Tudambikanam. All these are about his compassion for the fallen souls. And we got no business here in Silicon Valley as bhakti yogis, except for one, and that is to talk to the people at Apple and Google and Salesforce and everyone else, because they're good people, they're smart people, they're missing one ingredient, a little bit of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you get one little molecule of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's all good. That Apple campus, we don't mind if they hand it over for a kirtan hall. Or Google can open up all their facility for laundry and we'll just do our laundry there. Whatever it is, but everyone's missing it. And we have it, so we should feel compassion, distribute it. But first and foremost, we have to develop this sense of respect for all of us together. We also have to remember, and just remember that all you can do is all you can do, but all you can do is enough. And do the best you can with what you have right now. Do the best you can with what you have right now. If we get too overheated for what things should be like, be more oriented towards what things are, and then cool-headedly draw plans for how it can be better and improved. That's our wealth. That's always been the wealth of ISV, is to be heartfelt together and be very observant of the ways in which we deal with devotees. We've got a confluence of exalted devotees here, and we have a huge vision for expansion, but it has to be built on the subtleties, which are the most important, of how we carefully deal with one another. Now I'll stop my pontification. My diatribe comes to an end. And I thank everybody very much for all the services that you're doing. We're really lucky. And yes. Okay, Prabhu, please go ahead. Okay. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madhan Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Sringadev, if you so desire, please instill in our hearts a mood of service to the devotees. And please let us remember that the essence of devotional service is to save one soul at a time, beginning with ourselves. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now in our program we have a talk by one of our exalted youth who took birth here in the world. What? Nothing. Risheshwari Leela's somewhere here. Oh, somebody told me we also had that. Yes, I just want to mention that I really appreciate the new shloka team. This is an example of the way things start from a seed. Bijan Korava. Bijan Korav. Thank you, which she said. And then they develop in something great. So Yashi, come on up here. Tell us what we've won. Organize everything. Haribol.
Sir. Hare Krishna. Maybe I can start with some context for if there's any newcomers here. So some months ago, we as a community decided that we'll try to learn all of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. All of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. And we set a goal for ourselves that we'll try to complete these prayers by Narasimha Chaturdashi. Narasimha Chaturdashi rolled around and we decided that it might be valuable to have some extra time. So we extended the deadline to July 5th, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day. That was just recently. And then we also gave a 1-week period for all the devotees who tried to memorize some or all of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers to record a video to test themselves, to show what they know. And so now this event, this session is meant to be an opportunity for those devotees who learned some of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers to showcase what they know. There'll be 2 parts to this. The first part will be a community recitation where we'll invite the devotees who opted to submit a video to come sit up front, and we'll go through the entire set of prayers one by one. I'll explain how that can work shortly. But after that, we'd like to award each of those devotees for the effort and the time they put into this by offering them a little bit of a prize, and maybe Maharaj can hand them the prize Afterwards. But so for the first part, what we'll have is every devotee that submitted a video recitation of one level of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers, any level from 1 through 4. We'd like to invite each of them to come up here and sit on the stage. We'd like to have all the level 4 devotees sit in the back row, the level 3 in front of them, level 2 in front of them, and then level 1 in the front. And then what we'll do is that we'll go through each of the entire set of prayers, and as we complete each level, we can have each level go back to their seats, and we'll go all the way through. And then all the devotees that are here in the front can recite them together. And then we'll have it on the screen as well, so the devotees that are in the crowd can also follow along. Does that sound okay? Awesome. So we'd like to invite everyone who's submitted one of the levels to come up to the front. And I know who you are, so I will call you out. Yeah. Yeah. Are they ordered or what? Are they ordered? Perfect. Yes, so we can have all the level 4 devotees come and sit up in back. Yes. Yes.
Are you having 3 sit in front?
Three in this third row, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Abhay, go. Anshu. Yeah, go. Yeah.
Just call out the names.
Yeah. Yeah, so Rajras, Pavan, Abhay, you guys can come here. I think I see Radhika, Anuradha Mataji, please come. Priya Kishore, please. All levels, yeah. See, where's Shamalangi Mataji? Okay, awesome. Malani Mataji. I think that's...
Let's put a zafu in each row, and so that way it's easier.
I think it's... Geeta Priya. Just level 1. Okay, I think that's everyone. So just to reiterate what we're going to do, we have all the level 1 folks in the first row, the level 2 here, level 3, and then level 4. We're going to go through the entire set of prayers just once. Everyone in the front will recite it together. Level 1 will cover the first 6 verses, the devotees that are here. Once the first 6 verses are won, they can go back to their seats. We'll keep continuing through the set of verses. Once level 2 is done, which is the first 10 verses, they can go back to their seats, and so on and so forth. So we'll go through the entire set of prayers. And then the devotees here will be reciting it together as a team. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, go ahead. Sure. Even if you haven't submitted, you're welcome to join if you feel like you can do it. Sure. Then Mataji. Do it on one screen, right? We can't do it on one screen, right? Screens.
Show it on that screen.
It's not possible, I think.
Wait, can you turn off that screen? Give me the
Yeah, that's fine.
No, like shut it off. Turn off the screen entirely.
Oh, okay, awesome.
What about this side? This side, I don't know. Wait, give me the switch to turn that projector off. Of it. No.
It's okay, you're sitting in the ear of these two.
Yeah, facts. Let me just listen to you.
So what we'll try to do is that we'll have the prayers up on this screen so the devotees in the audience can follow along. And then if needed, those devotees, if there's any hesitancies in the front, the devotees in the audience can help prompt the devotees here. Yeah, 5 seconds before you prompt them, because they all know it very well. I saw the recordings. They're all absolutely amazing. Yes, so for the benefit of those online, the different levels we had, we started with level 1, which was memorizing 6 important verses, although some devotees also memorize just the first 6 verses. Level 2 is memorizing the first 10 verses, so canto verse 7 to verse 16. Level 3 was memorizing half the verses, which was verse 7 to 28. And then level 4 was memorizing all the verses, so verses 7 through 51. We also had a participant level, which we do have a prize for as well afterwards, where any devotees that memorize at least one verse. So I think we're ready to get started. Okay, I think we are ready. So we have it up on this screen, and we can't see it on that screen. So I think we're good to go. Whenever you're ready, we can start. For level 4, you can say the entire set of verses. You say whatever level you did, basically.
Ashto Siddharme Gagra Manasa Susamadika Prema Vedaya Vacha Tanyasya Liberation Shikara Vacha Brahmadaya Suradana Munayo Prasiddha Sattvaita Gatayo Vacha Sampravahe Bhagavato Ruchiravatare Tatyakshamajumasura
Tadvaita deva vasudaya vadashita Dasa
Hare Krishna. Wow, that was amazing. I think the most beautiful part was that how they were all going off of each other's energy. I saw Priya Kishore going like, never down. And Malini Mataji and Shamali Mataji, they looked so focused, locked in, just in the zone. That was amazing. Next, we'd like to give out stickers as a reward to each of the different levels that have completed their sections. Marge, if you'd like, we'd like to ask you to give the stickers to each level. First, we'll invite all the participants. These are all devotees who have completed at least one or more verses. So I'll announce their name, and then Madhuri Saki, you can give Marge a sticker, and then Marge can give the sticker to the participants. So first we have Jai Kanai Prabhu. And Shraddha Mataji. Geeta Priya. Sanika Mataji. I don't see her here, but Kaylee Kunja Kumari. Radha Kripa Prabhu. Vicky Mataji. Vicky Mataji. Shyam Jagannath Prabhu. Shriyan. Abhay. Sorry, not Abhay. So these are all our participants. Next we'll go to level 1. These are all devotees who have memorized 6 verses from Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. Abhay. Pradras Bhavana. Nitai. Next we have our level 2 devotees who memorized the first 10 verses of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. Kautuk Karnava Prabhu. Anshu. Me. Srivas Pandit Prabhu. Apara Gaurangi Mataji. Aradhika Anuradha Mataji. Next we have our level 3 stalwarts who completed half of Prahlada Maharaja's prayers. First we have Manya. Yes, Sri Gopal Prabhu joined. Sri Gopal Prabhu. I will submit today. For level 3, first we have Manya. Kunjari. Anushri. Mukharan Prabhu. And Santosh Prabhu. Lastly, we have the level 4 devotees who did the entire set of Prahlada Maharaja's prayer. Haribol! We have one more level 3 devotee, Madhuri Saki. Right, for the level 4 devotees, Priya Kishori. Anamay. Shamalangi Mataji. Anapayini Bhakti. Krishna Saka Prabhu. Arun Vishwanathan Prabhu. Malini Mataji. Vaisesika Maharaj. One more round of applause for all the devotees who participated. I'll conclude by saying from Bhagavad-gita 17:15, Prabhupada in his purport talks about how it's important that we always have Praman ready. Whenever we say something, we should always have Praman to back it up. And so even though we're focusing on memorizing the Sanskrit verses, we should also focus on the meaning, knowing what they mean, engage with them fully, so that whenever we go out in the world, whenever we want to make connections between different points, we always have that Praman to back it up. And I'll ask Marge if you want to conclude any other points.
Who all is on your team who helped organize it?
Yes, that's the most important part. So I want to recognize all the people on the team who put a lot of time and effort into this. These are all youth devotees who are in the middle of internships. They're traveling out. They have different work going on. They have school going on. But they all took the time to still make time to do this. And now's a good time to recognize all of them. Up high. Anapayani Bhakti. Madhuri Saki. And Anshu.
And Yash. His Grace Gauranga Prabhu had come here while we were away. And I called him up when I was in London to ask him what his experience was here, if he had any observations. And he said he liked everything. I won't go into those details. But he said he especially liked that devotees were learning verses. As you know, he recites verses like the blowing wind. It's as if they just downloaded all the books into him. And he said to me, what you've got going there with this memorization is such a nice thing. He said, please, if you could, universalize it. Spread it out to the whole world. And with just a quick mention of that to the team members here, they took it up, you all took it up with such gusto and expertise and turned it into something that's exportable around the world. It made it compelling. It made it fun. I'm keeping my sticker. It really means a lot to have this, and the way you designed it and organized the different levels is something that is the foundation now to a program that we can continue, not only continue here, but also spread to many other places. And it will continue to evolve, and you're the pioneers of this. Thank you very much for giving your heart and soul for doing that. Hare Krishna. And lastly, we have to decide which ones we're doing next. I have things in mind, but I don't want to say it publicly because it might influence things. But have you already talked about it? No, all you. You won't know, tell you, it's just a brainstorm. But since what came into my mind was that between now and Radhashtami, we could work on Queen Kunti's prayers and present them on Radhashtami. I know it just came into my mind like that, but open for discussion. Melanie's doing the math. Are you doing the math? Yeah, they're very short, I think. There's not that many. It's like 20 or something, right? Somebody check and see. Anyway, you can start right away. Anyway, we'll figure that out and see, and we can also discuss more in case there are more opportune times or time levels. I would just like to ask a couple of quick questions for those who were involved in the process of what it was like for you. Would anybody like just to give a brief recount of what it felt like, what it took to do this?
Hare Krishna, everyone. It was fairly smooth for the first time. I think Yash's leadership and constant supervision of us helped a lot, in a good way. Yeah, everyone put in a lot of work for this, especially considering how interesting it was changing the deadline and sending it out to all the devotees. And I was very grateful to see everyone participate. I wasn't expecting that many people. And when I was judging the videos, because I was the person who was looking at them, it was really nice seeing everyone kind of pause at the exact same places and have this, and have like almost exactly the same mistakes. So that was just very interesting, and it's nice to see how we are all memorizing kind of the same way as Maharaj taught us. So.
Wow, thanks. That's really useful information to know, because if we collaborate more on where the tripping points are, it can be helpful. Thank you. I'm also interested in hearing individual process, what it felt like, how it affected you to memorize these verses, what it was like. Santosh, please pass him a microphone. What was your journey? How did it start? Were you intimidated? Did it grow on you? What did it feel like?
Hare Krishna, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you everyone for organizing this. It was really fun. I decided to verse. There was before this we had the second chapter Bhagavatam. So I thought I will start with it, but I got intimidated and I stopped. Then I thought, okay, I have very good amount of time for these prayers. Then I start in March. I thought, okay, I had a lot of time, but slowly in between I got on and off. So what has actually helped me was I was writing each and every verse 10 to 20 times in my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Telugu. So because I used to read Telugu easily, so I thought, okay, I'll memorize a verse in Telugu compared to English. So that has actually helped me to memorize. After writing 10 times, I'm able to memorize that verse. And I was also writing meaning of each and every word in a separate book. That has helped me to understand the meaning of that word. And also reading translations, whichever language be comfortable. I was reading in both Telugu and English. That has helped me to understand the deeper meaning. And I could also reflect upon these verses, like Prahlada Maharaja gives so many combinations, which I could personally reflect upon. I was going through in the material world. So it was very nice to understand the deeper meaning of the each sloka. Until I could understand the deeper meaning, I was not able to memorize it. And I tried without writing. I was just hearing continuously half an hour, 1 hour each verse. But the writing was more effective. That's what I could feel. But I just want to thank for providing, for creating this sloka one. It was really amazing, and whenever I get time, I was just memorizing the verses. So, thanks.
Wait, Shamalandi, where'd you go? She was one of the leaders of the group. Gives the essence.
So I think I mentioned this even last week. Some of us, we read in the morning, so we started reciting these verses without trying to learn, but we just kept reading them daily, and slowly we became familiar. We started, I think, 5-6 months back. And then we first started half of the verses till 29, and then the second half. But I think the pressure became more when the submission thing came. So, then I think we went individually, we started doing. I personally should say that I tried recording this video at least 20 times on Thursday. And then only twice I think I said correctly everything, and then those videos somehow I couldn't find them. And whatever I recorded, they were not good. So at around 12 o'clock on Thursday, midnight AM, 12 AM, I recited them, and I think I recited all very fast because I was making mistake when I was going slow. I recited very fast, and in the morning I showed the video to Annapayani Bhakti that is this okay to. She said, "You're looking so angry. You can't submit this. You can't submit this one." So then yesterday after work around I think evening 4 o'clock or something, then I said again. And of course, I made, I think, 1 or 2 mistakes. I had to correct myself with closing my eyes and correct myself. But finally it happened. It was really fun, a lot of fun. I feel now at least it's a lot of fun. But my head is a lot light, so we do need another set of verses very soon. And I wanted to suggest Brahma's prayers 10-14, whenever, if not this marathon, maybe later, because that's also a large number of verses. So maybe you'll feel some achievement. Thank you.
Maybe just 2 more. Just tell how it felt. How did it go? You're getting a mic. Krishna Saka's next. He's been having hands up, and then we'll come to Malini. Krishna Saka, where are you?
Hi Krishna, Guru Maharaj. We are in Oregon. We are doing this Oregon Country Fair. Yeah. I had it was really nice memorizing this Prahlada Maharaja verses. Whenever there is a situation, some verses comes up and it gives me at least like the like enthusiasm and also support whenever I'm down. That okay, Prahlad Maharaj says this, and so one verse was Konvatrate Kila Guru Bhagavan Prayasa, where it was Prahlad Maharaj was talking about like Krishna, you are maintaining all the three worlds, and it is sign of great personality to help the ones who are fallen. So you are the most magnanimous of all, and so yeah, and also it was very nice. We were filling in the gaps whenever in the book distributions it was empty. We were trying to memorize the verses, and then sorry, and also yeah, like when we were driving at that time also we were memorizing. So this was very nice, filling in the gaps and um, helping us, and also giving us so much, giving me so much boost and support. So thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Shivaru. And I think Shamalangi Mataji was my partner to study this. She has a very good memory. She reads once and she can just remember. I'm exactly opposite. Until I understand what it is, I cannot move forward. Even if I recite like 20 times, I cannot memorize. So I was going, let's try to understand the meaning first. And she's saying, let's go fast. Because she's bored repeating so many times. But it was a good combination like that. And I felt it was nice because it became a way of life. Like you're in the shower, you're trying to memorize verses. You wake up in the morning, and even if without realizing the words pops up in your head, you're cooking, you're driving, everywhere you're just reciting the verses. I felt it was nice that I was always connected somehow or the other. And making mistakes was very good because the places where I made mistakes is the parts where I learned the most. And but one disadvantage I felt was that you take long showers because you can't memorize, you can't remember that verse, and you're trying to. It was a fun experience. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for actually engaging us in this. Otherwise, the mind would be just empty without anything else. So, really grateful for this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One other thing is that we do have extra stickers. So if you are interested in memorizing them from now, they will all be available for you whenever you're ready. So feel free to ask any of us. One more announcement.
The form will also reopen again today, so I know there's a few devotees who wanted to submit or they were participants and they didn't get a chance to submit, so we'll reopen it, and you can maybe in one of the upcoming Youth Jam sessions always say the verse and you'll get a sticker.
In conclusion, this is just our first touch of the Prahlada prayers in earnest with a deadline. Doesn't mean we're finished, it means we just started and we barely scratched the surface and we can feel it, right?
Yes.
And there's also this sense of the ocean of nectar that's there. When we go into a particular part, we realize how deep it is, and then we think how each verse we could dwell on and go into and write a PhD thesis on. And there's a way in which we're either overwhelmed in the material world by all the problems, or we're overwhelmed by how many verses we have to learn. And I can say categorically that the feeling of being overwhelmed by having to memorize these verses within a set amount of time and totally grinding my brain made me realize a couple things. One was that I barely use my brain ever. And when I really try to pick up this as much focus as I can, then I'm just barely utilizing it. And there's so much more because the brain just becomes used to being in catatonic mode most of the day and night. But this is a powerful stimulus that also felt like an austerity. When I finished writing my first book, and it was a total marathon for weeks and months, just focusing without any distraction. And I came to LA and I saw Nirkula there. She looked at me and goes, "You look like you've been doing tapasya." You can see it in somebody's face. And I felt like that, especially the last few weeks, that's just going and going and going and thinking, we have this to go into and to be part of. And it's a miracle that we can do anything or remember anything, but the fact that we have this to give our minds to, we don't feel like, let me not do this again. Like we're all saying now, let's keep it going. And it's something like when you finish reciting the whole Bhagavad-gita, nobody ever says, let's never do this again. They say, can we do it every day? And when you finish going around Govardhan Hill for a parikram, although you're tired, you say, when can we do it again? Because this is a spiritual enlivenment. So this is one of our main purposes here, as we talked about it this morning in classes, to hear and chant. We need to go deeply within all the purports and find the relationships of these verses so they're forthcoming and we can use them as pramanam, as who said? You said. As Yash said. He's giving credit to Prabhupada. And as Prabhupada wrote in the Bhagavad-gita. So we'll pray that Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan will bless and empower us. Prahlada Maharaja, Queen Kunti, Brahma, all the great personalities, that we can remember their prayers and utilize them in ways that would be pleasing to them and to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Thank you for considering our request. Everyone who agrees with this prayer is automatically signed up for the next marathon. And therefore, please say, Haribo.
Haribo.
Vancha kalpatarusha kripa sindhu. Is there anything else? Announcements.
Hare Krishna, quickly reminding you all that whenever you give books to anybody, please make sure you also introduce Bhakti community to them. This week we had an interesting program in our regular Bhakti circle. We did the reading for the 4 questions book. There were 25 participants who joined, and what we did is in the Zoom room we had 4 breakout rooms, and participants read the book. We really were very thankful to Maharaj for writing that book, because we could just read that book with just newcomers. That was so easily understandable. And then we discussed questions on what we read. So the participants really, really enjoyed it, and we are going to continue till the book finish, and maybe we'll continue for more, more iterations of that. So if you are inviting people and giving them the 4 questions book, especially ask them that we are reading the book together with the group, and they can all join. So that's one of the latest developments. So, but please don't forget bhakticommunity.com for signing up newcomers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We finished our Bhaktivinoda Thakur marathon, which we did the offering last week to Srila Prabhupada. There was one small correction in terms of the books and the Lakshmi points that we offered to Srila Prabhupada. So we'll do the offering to Srila Prabhupada after the program separately, and then we'll send out. And we're really, really sorry that we made some mistake. And especially for the Western Sankirtan team scores as well as the Kids Sankirtan team, the book points and Lakshmi points were somehow switched. But having said that, our next MSF is going to be the Janmashtami MSF, And this is going to be in continuation to our Bhadra Purnima MSF, where we are going to distribute at least 3,500 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So, and devotees are already out. I know Krishna Saka Prabhu's team is there in Oregon, and they were joined by Halda Rupa Prabhu, Kumari Leela, and Kunjari. So they are out there doing traveling Sankirtan, distributing books as well. We'll hear from them when they come back next week. And we have a lot of spots here in Cupertino, San Jose, and we also have spots in the Dublin, Pleasanton area as well. So please join one of the teams. And last week was very interesting. We wanted to go to the store which told us not to come because they created some problem. So after taking some advice from different devotees, we thought, okay, let's give it a break and let's go to some other store. We were not sure if it's that good. When we went there, it was really good. It was really, really good. I think we did about 11 or 12 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And and there was one story was very outstanding. There was one couple that came, they were very young, and then I said, we are distributing this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are trying to preserve this Vedic culture. And she said, I know Srimad Bhagavatam. And then I said, oh, how do you know? She said, my last name is Bhagavatam. her last name is Bhagavatam Krishnamurti. So it's... And I asked, how come you have this name, Bhagavatam Krishnamurti? She said that all her ancestors, her fathers, grandfathers, and everybody, they used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. And they used to go place to place, village to village, and recite Srimad Bhagavatam. I was so happy to meet such a family who's coming from such a nice lineage. Then I asked, do you have a Srimad Bhagavatam? She said, I never owned a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I said, how do you continue the legacy that your great ancestors have left? And she said, unfortunately, I don't even know. My father also doesn't know much of Bhagavatam. And then we showed her the entire set of Bhagavatam. And the husband was reluctant. He was saying, yeah, 18 books, maybe, may not be. And then he was saying, so what should we do? And she's saying, you should take it. She's a homemaker, but her husband works at LinkedIn. I think Shraddha Mataji connected with him as well. And then he asked how much donation. And then I told them it is $250 to ship and print. Then he's asking his wife, what should I do? He said, give the whole money. So she was so much into the Bhagavatam because she has that connection from a family lineage. So we can continue that by giving Bhagavatam to everybody. They read it, their children read it, somehow this is being passed. And actually they ended up giving $500 donation, not just $250. So there are people out there who have connection with Bhagavatam. All we have to just see is just how to uncover that. So please join us, and we have to do a lot more because we have 3,500 sets at least to go. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. That's the next announcement coming. Tomorrow, as we know, is SF Rath Yatra, and we do a lot of books at the book table. And do we do what else? What else do we do? Book packs. We give out the mercy of Lord Jagannath in the form of books to all the passers-by. And please do come at the beginning of the parade, take the book packs and distribute them. It's really fun because to be able to hand out something as a gift to somebody, it's such a special service. We have all the logistics there available. And Raseshwari Lila is going to tell about how the Kaishora kids are actually helping to pack those books.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, first of all, for the wonderful class this morning and then the nectarian recitation of the verses. It was very, very blissful to hear. I also want to say that today we didn't have the youth presentation, the regular one, but we are engaging the youth in book packing. 700 book packs will be packed starting 11 a.m. in the temple hall. We welcome everyone because we have to pack a lot of books in a very efficient manner, in an assembly line. So those who have that experience know that, missing out on book distribution, sometimes, you feel bad, you're not able to join the teams, it's an effort, you drive, you have to, plan it. But this is right here in the temple hall. If you want to experience the bliss of doing our family business, which is the business of book distribution, you can first join in packing the books. It gives us so much joy to put in all the lollipops, the stickers, the books, and the flyer into a small bag, seal it, and put it in bags, and then we carry all these bags tomorrow for the Rath Yatra. The whole back-end process is very blissful. I encourage, if you have never experienced this, please do join us. We will start at 11 a.m. in the temple hall. And I also want to mention that Manjula Kanta Mataji is also planning prasadam for those who can do that till the end. After this morning prasadam, you'll get a second prasadam. So I want to thank her for that. And also the team, Venudari Prabhu, is helping us set up everything, getting all the books and all the supplies for doing the packing. So thank you. If you can join us, please see me and so that I can plan for your spot. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, 2 announcements regarding Rath Yatra tomorrow. We will be reciting prayers both before and after. So if you want to recite prayers along with all the devotees, please go to the email Shraddha Mataji sent with the QR code where you can download the prayers so they're accessible for you. So the first one's at the beginning, so make sure to reach on time. The other ones will be at Sharon Meadows later on. So the next announcement is for the cooks. The cooks today were Hansa Priya Mataji and Shama Bhakta Prabhu.
Regarding the cooks and the kitchen in general, I'd like to mention Siddhikatha Prabhu for his relentless efforts to bring prasadam to all the worlds, to the 3 worlds, starting with us. And that Prabhupada said cooking also means cleaning. And that's because Krishna gave us this jewel of a temple. One of the most effective ways to serve is to clean. And presently, we're drawing up plans for new infrastructure, and we'll be showing those sometime soon. I was just in touch with an architect yesterday. We're planning sizes and places and styles and things like that. But my feeling is, until we've reached revolutionary clean in this jewel of a temple that Krishna gave us, that Krishna may not avail us completely to a transfer to something else. It's like my mother once told me when I was complaining about school, and as I was getting out of the car, she said, first you get all A's, then you can complain. So in a similar way, the cleaning of this temple is one of the most sacred of services. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it himself. And the more we can refine our cleaning, try to get up to the standard that the devotees have in Budapest or in Krishnavolgi in Hungary, where Shivaram Maharaj goes around with a white glove and he tests all the different surfaces to see if there's even a speck of dust there. And the devotees are constantly cleaning, reminiscent of Vaikuntha, where it's described that the goddesses of fortune, and even in Dwarka, Krishna's wives, even though there is no dust, they're constantly cleaning also. So I want to inculcate that as one of our goals here, is to be revolutionary clean and to bring all of us together for that service as much as possible, to assist Siddhikatha Prabhu and the kitchen team and also the rest of the temple. And the very day that we're able to achieve revolutionary clean, I guarantee you there another beautiful jewel of a temple with more facility for an expanded infrastructure will manifest the moment the last speck of dust is gone. from this temple. Thank you very much. I was thinking about mentioning all the departments, but then I get into one of those Devotee Appreciation Day conundrums where I never come to the end of it and I go home feeling morose. But I just want to thank everybody for all the services that you're doing. They're unlimited, and we're really expanding. So we're dealing with growth. Whenever there's growth, there are considerations to make how to move to the next level. We have a brand that is appreciated all over the world. We can also appreciate it while we're in the midst of it. ISV has become well recognized as a place where devotees cooperate, work together, dedicate themselves to book distribution. So thank you to everybody who's doing anything here in the way of serving Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. Gaur Premanande Haribol. I have one more important thing to say. It's really important. Should I say it? Sharira Vijaja Jodandriya Taheka Jive Pele Vishaya Shagare Talma Jeti Bayati Loba Moisudumati Take Jeta Tatita Sanshare Krishna Borodoyamon Gori Bari Jitaja Shaprashadana Dilobhai Shayanamrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Preme Dakro Shri Chaitanya Dika Preme Dakro Shri Chaitanya Dita Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Sapa Punya Batangajan Vishwa Sona Vijayate Prasade Savadrika Nam Mandirasyo Pajayate Prasana Cheta Suyashu Dipaya Vasishta Vitrayo Purvishta Sanganga Vasalankara Charchitaha Uchishta Bojino Dasa Tavamayam Jaimehi Shukshmam Parushitam Vapi Nityam Badura Deshataha Prapti Matrena Bhoktavyam Natrakala Vicharana Sadesha Niyamastatra Nakala Niyamastatra Praptamanam Dritam Shishte Bhoktaram Harit Abravid Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasada Ki Gaur Premanande. Welcome back to Pri Kishore and Sharad Bihari Mukunda. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol. Please come take prasadam, Haribol.